Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
Hello. You want the goodies? Welcome to the goodie room.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And then Bob Iger is all like, it's going to be
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm not a girl. Slander. Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny. You fat hoe.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Reina Creole, of course, bring you that spice to sci-fi and pop culture analysis. And welcome to the Spice Lounge. Here we throw hot takes, spicy commentary, always keeping it real with you guys with respect to what is going out there in the pop culture sphere. And, you know, today is going to be one of those shows. I always keep saying this one's going to be the spiciest we've ever had. But I'm going to stop saying that and just let stuff happen as they happen, because today's show is going to be super freaking spicy. Why? Disney had their annual stockholder meeting today, and full disclosure, your girl has held Disney stock since before Marvel got sold to Disney, back in the wonderful years of Eisner / Jay Rizzullo, when, you know, Jay Rizzullo was running the parks, where there was more merch in the parks than I had money for, when you had Star Wars weekends popping off, when you just had so much going on at Disney because it had so much value for your dollar. And if you want to know how far back I go with Disney, okay, one of the first toys I ever got as a kid was my little Pluto here. I call him indestructible because my sisters played with them, my cousins did, kids I babysat. Love this one to death. One of my favorite toys that I've had. I'm so glad I've had this. And I want to thank my youngest sister for finding it and giving it back to me. So in addition, okay, I know some of you guys, your heads are going to blow up, right? I got this from my grandmother as a birthday present. My Jim Crow South raised grandmother. See, falling apart. Uncle Remus stories, Walt Disney's Uncle Remus stories. Okay, I love these stories. Even more so when Splash Mountain came out. Kidding me? I love it. So your girl has been steeped and raised in Disney for years. So when I tell you that your girl is absolutely pissed in light of this shareholders call, you know it's going to be a spicy show. So let's bring on my amazing panel. We've got Views with Hughes. We've got Retro Nerd Girl. We've got Vash Sky, that Park Place. And I'm so glad we have him for a little bit. Jonas J. Campbell of that Park Place. How are you all doing today?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on. Jonas! You grace us with your presence, good sir.
Hello, I am a Disney company shareholder, and I approve of Bob Iger.
Well, I didn't expect that question, but we'll see.
What a bunch of malarkey, to use a political phrase here.
Absolute garbage.
I was telling the panel backstage, I had the call on while I was at work. And when you heard the AI, and we'll get to this, when I heard the AI reading off questions, I thought I had mistakenly asked Siri for something. I'm like, I don't remember asking Siri to do anything. And then when I'm hearing, I have a question for you, Bob Iger, do you? I'm like, oh, you got to be freaking kidding me.
And by the way, amazing softballs too.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of the parks. What are we going to be spending it on in the next 10 years?
It's like, come on, really? Are you serious right now? It's ridiculous.
Oh, it is. I mean, if you thought last year's shareholders meeting was a comedy of errors, but this one is a floating garbage fire, and we are so going to get into it. But first of all, 33 of you guys here watching so far, thank you so very much. Please do hit that like button. Please share this stream out,
Yeah.
because yes, we are about to get into this drama. And again, floating garbage fire, known as the Disney Shareholders Annual Meeting. Railway Nation gaming clips been a member for 3 months. Thank you so
Ooh.
very much. Says sell Disney, sell, and I hope to have you soon. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being a member. We're not giving out financial advice on this show. We're just giving our opinions. If you want to sell Disney, that's great. I've been a buy and hold kind of girl, because that's what Scrooge McDuck taught me to do. So I buy my stock and I hold it. And I bought it so long ago that even with the stock price now, I'm still making money. But I will eventually be that old lady at the shareholders meeting, like, I have shares, so I got a question. If they're going to let you live question the CEO anymore after this.
I don't understand that at all. Especially for such, I know exactly why they did it. I just don't understand how they thought they could get away with it.
I think it's the hubris. What do you guys think on the panel about that?
I mean, the arrogance. I remember there was a time, right, when these shareholder meetings used to be conducted in person, when they used to have them held all across the country. I believe the last one that they held in person was in St. Louis, I believe in 2019, and they had something scheduled for 2020. Obviously, that didn't happen the way that we all envisioned, but everybody kind of thought, well, pandemic-related stuff, maybe we'll go back to that format. Unfortunately not. They held them remotely now, call-ins, whatever, and we've seen some very spicy call-ins. That is absolutely for sure. But I remember at a time when you used to be able to, address Bob Iger in person in front of him and have those questions fielded. To do this, to take away not only the representation of the board through what happened with Nelson Peltz, but also take away their voice, their direct access to this management in the way they did this right now, it's profoundly frustrating.
Well, since we only have Jonas for a limited amount of time, Jonas, why don't I give you the floor and you give us your impressions and highlights and oh my goodness, I can't believe they did it moments from the annual shareholders meeting.
Well, I will say we were not expecting Peltz to get in. There was some narrative there at the end that kind of made it seem like he might, but Pro and I have maintained that we think that Nelson Peltz is probably going to go for next year. I'm seeing some indications that Restoring Magic is already deactivated. Actually, I'm gonna check that real quick, actually, to see if it's site cannot be reached. So he has gone dark for now, but that's exactly what he did last year, right about the time that the stock was at around 120. It's already gone down 3%. I don't know. I haven't checked in the last 10 minutes, so it might have gone back up again. I think that Bob Iger had what is called a Pyrrhic victory, where I think he sullied himself here. I think he sullied the company themselves. And now I think Dana Walden is the clearest choice for CEO of the Walt Disney Company. And I don't think that that's probably going to be a good thing for the company. Bob Iger wants that superlative. He wants to be since he can't be a woman and crash the glass ceiling himself, he's going to crash that glass ceiling for a woman, the classic patriarchalist that he is. And congratulations to that Park Place. We are going to have 5 more years at least of excellent content to cover, because they are allergic to change and allergic to the truth.
Indeed.
You're 100% right. I've never seen such a call where it flips between, oh, well, we love our shareholders, to basically blowing smoke up our skirts pretty much with with just the hubris of what they tried to get away with. If you go back to for some folks who haven't been to one of these or have heard one of these, at the beginning of the call, they have the shareholder proposals that are on the ballot. Now, if you are eligible to vote, you will vote on these proposals. The proposals up front are usually the ones that the board really wants you to vote for, like the golden parachute, uh, re-electing all of the incumbent members, stuff like that. Usually benefits that the board wants. They'll say, oh, vote for this, vote for PricewaterhouseCoopers, to keep doing our accounting and stuff like that. Then they get to the other shareholder proposals. We'll call them the proposals from the hoi polloi, the peasants, the peons, the peanut factory, where we have a couple shares of stock and you can put, a proposal on there. And usually those are the common sense proposals. The ones, a couple I'm trying to remember. One was, disclosing exactly how their political contributions were being sent. What Disney had their political.
Oh man, that was
going for.
spicy.
Oh,
Shockingly spicy.
yes,
and not in the direction that I thought it was going to go.
No.
Ooh, lots of spice here for the lounge. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was brutal. They did not hold back, but those shareholder proposals, those are the ones that usually are. I call them the get real type of proposals. And of course, Disney says, no, don't vote for those. Don't vote for those.
Of course not.
I'm ready to speak if it's fine.
Oh, go right ahead.
Also, as y'all can see, the microphone is further from my face and everything because it's going to get loud.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, I'm first and foremost, I'm not a Disney shareholder. I wanted to become one, but I was going to be one at a point where I was going to be qualified to vote. Now, first thing is first, let's be real. Bob Iger, okay, of course he's still going to be on the board verbatim. Nelson Peltz never said that he's going to replace them. He said he wanted to work with them, but a lot of media out there decided to go ahead and put out there that Nelson Peltz is trying to go ahead and get out there Bob Iger's job as CEO. But the thing is, Nelson Peltz is busy running his own company as well as being a board member of other boards and stuff, including Unilever. And the fact of the matter is that with this kind of vote and stuff, I got a feeling that something shady is going on behind the scenes. Okay, now granted, Bob Iger, Nelson Peltz is not going to be a part of the board. That's been blocked. Okay, that vote's been blocked. He's not for the next year. He's not going to be able to blame Nelson Peltz for the upcoming failures that's going to be released by Disney. Okay, but he will blame Nelson Peltz in the upcoming year, like throughout the year, over not getting enough content out there because he had the proxy war up against himself. To basically not get enough, use that as a way to not get content enough out there, and he's also going to call this a big distraction. I think it is using like some sort of way to keep the media from going ahead and giving tough questions and everything. But the fact of the matter is, I'm so done with Disney, and I'm not even a shareholder. And for all of you out there, Lorena, you've been a long time shareholder. I commend you for that and everything, because that shows you still have hope and everything in the company to change around and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people either has lost money or not making a good enough profit that they were expecting to. Why? Because of Bob Iger. Okay, I'll go ahead and get Tolkien and everything. Y'all know how they call Kathleen Kennedy Sauron and stuff, or the Eye of Sauron. Bob Iger is Morgoth, and he got the orcs who supported him. or should I say orcs and balrogs, if you will. Yes, I went awesome reeling on you. But the fact of the matter is, we got to put up with another year of this bull crap. I don't even cuss, but I'm gonna say it. But I'm gonna say that anyway. But we got a whole another year of this, and I can't even take another 2 months of this. Okay, and you know what? That I want to say that let this be a lesson learned to him, but he's not going to learn from this. He's going to continue to deflect, and then keep blaming. And whenever something good comes about, including stuff that Disney didn't make, Avatar, including the way the water, he's going to take credit for things that for the good stuff. But he's going to shift blame onto other people. And the fact of the matter is, he ruined Star Wars. He ruined Marvel after buying them both. He even ruined Pixar. I loved watching the original trilogies, even prequels and stuff. I love the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian, but thanks to him, if it's actually true about Kathleen Kennedy just going in along with Bob Iger's ideology and everything, if that's true and she didn't have anything to do with it, then we got a lot of problems to go. But I really do think that this is what she wanted. She probably didn't want it at first, but she wants it now. Okay, but Bob Iger is pushing further along. Yeah, Ray, man, I'm glad you think I'm hilarious, but right now I'm jaded. I'm not even upset. I'm not happy. I'm jaded at this point.
Can't say I blame you. But think about that. You bring up an excellent point, actually, Hughes, because for people who are not shareholders, the way they look at Disney is much different than the way that we'll say your institutional shareholders, because there's 2 different kinds. And Jonas and Bash, correct me if I'm wrong, and Retro Nerd, feel free to chime in here. You have your BlackRocks, you have your Vanguards, you have your Morgan Stanleys, you have your Moffett-Nathanielsons, where they control so many stocks that Disney is just something for them to make money on. They're big enough whales to make a difference. But then you have people like me who maybe have a couple of shares of stocks because we truly, like you were saying, we truly believed in the company at the time, when we bought it. But you have just the consumers, and that's the other thing that this whole annual shareholders meeting, it also insulted their consumers. I mean, and my favorite question was when Iger got he didn't get asked, let's put it this way. The question came in, it was approved, and Bob got coached on how to answer this question, and you can see that.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't you notice that? It's just like
absolutely.
It was almost like scripted responses.
Yeah.
Yes, very scripted.
And didn't think anybody was going to do the research to find out that what he was saying was not true.
Mm-hmm.
So the other part about it.
Speaking of questions, I want to give a quick shout out to Chloe Cole for what she did and stuff. Where for those of you who haven't heard of Chloe Cole, she's the one who's the who was a transgendered youth, but she detransitioned and everything. Okay, she actually stood up to Bob Iger and everything. And also, if you notice, she stated at the end of a question, she's bringing up lawsuits against the company.
Yes,
for what they've done to people like her.
Right. And to catch up, folks, with what Hughes was saying, one of the proposals was Disney pays for transitioning treatment. Okay, they pay for that, but nothing for detransitioning. And that proposal got real spicy. And I hadn't thought of it in relation to Disney. So that was actually a really good one that she brought up, because what it encompasses is just how frustrated people are with this company. But to get back to the question, I was talking about the one that he got asked, was when they asked him about Epic Universe.
Oh my. Oh my.
Did you love that?
We've had 10 years. We've known about Epic Universe for 10 years. Oh, good for you, Bob. What have you done in those 10 years? 6 of it was rebuilding Epcot into something that was not as fun as Epcot. I don't understand how knowing about that for 10 years makes it any better.
I mean, he goes all the way back to Pandora, as Marty mentions right here. Had no idea Pandora and Galaxy's Edge were in response to Epic Universe. By the way, even BioReconstruct calls them out and says, oh, wait a minute, they didn't even acquire the land for Epic Universe until about 8 years prior to now. So how did they know about this for 10 years? That's really weird how we're doing this retroactive thing like, oh, we're already ahead of the game. What? When Tron opened, that was supposed to be the big summer draw. They had to scale back. They had to, go through that price elasticity that they love to talk about and reduce the resorts that summer by 30%, give away these $100 deals for the summer. Tron opened in April after 6 years. Didn't even last them to the summer to prevent those steep discounts to keep people coming back. I mean, this is absurd. You think Tron and all these other things are going to last you till 2025? It is a joke. This is a very, very surprising to see this wool attempting to be pulled over the eyes here.
Am I the only one hoping that Bob Iger will get a vote of confidence and stuff brought against him? Oh, who are we kidding?
Yeah, they love him. They love him. And thank you, Vash, for sending me this link, because y'all, this right here and this question right here is pretty much the crux and the whole attitude of this call.
Let's do it.
Fair use YouTube. Going to thank Scott Houston for dropping this on X. Here we go.
With Epic Universe opening up in Orlando in 2025, why hasn't Disney prepared anything or placed more than just a handful of attractions in the pipeline to be ready for this in 2025 at Walt Disney World?
Well, thank you very much for your question, but it just couldn't be further from the truth. We've been aware of Universal's plans for a new park for more than a decade, and we have a sophisticated approach to analyzing the needs of all of our businesses and strategically deploying capital. But I just want to remind you of a few things at Walt Disney World during this same period. We opened Pandora, the world of Avatar and Animal Kingdom, Toy Story Land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios.
Retheme.
We also completed a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar transformation of Epcot.
Broken.
You paid multiple billions of that?
Water, and a great attraction, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. And we opened Tron Life Cycle Run at Magic Kingdom.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
I have a question there. Are they? Yeah. Is he including Moana and Cosmic Rewind in that multi-billion-dollar expansion?
It would yes, so.
I think
yes. And Remy's too.
Yes, and Remy's.
Yeah.
It's so
he's including a bunch of stuff no one's talking about.
They're fighting back against Epic years in advance with Remy. Are you serious right now? Are you
well, a lot of these projects. A lot of these projects, they were actually started much before 10 years. Like one of them was started like in 2011, and I'm like, how can you even consider this as part of this plan?
Retro,
you have to create a new plan.
There ain't enough gas in this world to gaslight that hard. Okay, I just want to go ahead and be honest with that.
Reaching,
completely reaching when he's talking about, Remy's. I said, okay, wait a minute. You mean the ride that you guys imported from Disneyland Paris and took you forever to put over here? Tron, yes. The one that you took from Shanghai Disneyland that took you 6 years, and it took Universal maybe like a year and a half to do the Velocicoaster?
Velocicoaster and Hagrid's were already open by the time Cosmic Rewind opened. They weren't even responses to that.
I wonder how many people actually helped him come up with these answers for these
that's
questions.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
They did.
And I think they thought they got it. They had a gotcha. And they're like, yeah, see, but if people go back and look at when these projects started, the math is not mathing. And so I think a lot of people are calling us, BS on this.
Animal Kingdom 2017, Avatar, World of Avatar 2017, Toy Story Land 2018, Galaxy's Edge 2019. Again, Epic Universe was supposed to open, what, in 2023, 4? Then it got pushed back to 2025,
Yeah,
is that right?
pandemic, yeah.
2023, 4.
Yeah, exactly. Remembrance Ratatouille Adventure 2021, Journey of Water inspired by Moana 2023, Tron 2023. This is all years, to Retro's point, years before. And like you said, the development process for these things, you got to add at least 2 years onto those projects right there. These were years in the making, folks, and they had to retroactively say that these were for Epic Universe is nonsense. It really is. I mean, this is a joke.
Completely is.
Let's see. The thing that
go ahead, Don.
Even
Go ahead,
we had multiple visits to Magic Kingdom, my family, over several years, and especially when we moved outside of Florida, we didn't come back every year. There was a gap between our trips, and Tron was still under construction, and still just dirt all sitting there. From the Barnstormer, we're all going, "Hey, what's that over there?" Oh wait, that is that Tron ride that they announced. Didn't look very Tron at the time. And then it's finally built, and it's less than a minute. It's something that is meant to grace the skyline more than it's supposed to be an attraction. I don't get this company anymore. They headline chase. It's not fun. They're most of the things that he brought up here. I don't think Cosmic Rewind is busted all the time, but Tron obviously is busted. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, busted. He didn't mention Toontown here that finally got completed a year after it opened, which is confounding yet again.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much of what they're doing here is broken, and they want to point to this, and the shareholders are driving by, the ones who are invested in this company because they only have a little bit of time. They're listening to the pitch. They don't know just how messed up this company is. They see that, $2.9 billion in revenue figure for the studios, and they think they're making money, which is, I'm going to say that's a lie. That is not a true statement that they're making that much money, but they want to leave people with that impression. They have taken their storytelling aesthetic and they have focused it solely in the real world on tricking investors. And I just hate it. It's so distasteful.
Well, see, one of the ways you can answer this question, be very truthful, is, not saying you've got something to actually compete with this new project that's happening at Universal, but also just say, hey, we're working very diligently to make our projects that we have an even better experience, and we have deals that we're going to at least give you the idea that they're working on trying to attract customers, during the time that this opening is going to be happening in 2025. At least let people know that they're working on it. The way it's like, oh, we've already got it in the bag. These projects are already done. We planned ahead, but that's not true. This was already in the pipeline. They already had these things planned, and what they should be doing now is making an experience people will enjoy and prefer to have.
Let's get Jonas's thoughts on this very next line right here after this strong comment. This was laughable right here. The very next line.
Here we go.
By staggering these major launches, we've been able to commercially and operationally optimize our new offerings over time, rather than having to do it all at once. And based on the guest experience,
it's better that we took forever to build.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is bright siding in a way that I just can't even fathom. It should not take you. Walcott was a shame. I don't understand. And then when it finally opened, it was busted. I don't mean to use that word over and over again.
But you're right.
But there is no better word than busted to describe the lights in whatever that garden was, which now is apparently going to have a bunch of pole dancers in it.
Yeah.
Or
and a
Journey of
cave
Water.
dancer.
which is I'm sorry, I'm getting so tired of having to talk about this and mince words here on this, but it's 4 or 5 women in dancers costumes on poles with house music playing and they're so close to guests. All of it together. I don't know what is wrong with this company anymore. I'm sorry. And like, I've avoided this subject on Twitter because I don't want to get into it, because if you say it looks like they're a bunch of strippers, then people will be like, oh, you're a broken person. Okay, well, whatever Disney is, I think that's broken.
Jonas, you don't understand. They optimized the rollout here. That was an optimization there. They optimized Toontown.
They staggered the metal cage.
Yes.
Let me see. I need to
rollout.
find this metal cage and like show it to you, because you have to see it. You just have to see it.
I wonder if the shareholders even saw that video themselves. And
Let's
like,
see if I can.
My money's going to this.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just thinking, if we go to the parks, if I go to that park and my wife catches me watching that show real attentively, I don't think that she's going to think that that's a great thing for me to be doing.
You know, I'll
got it
tell
right
you.
here.
And okay, because when Vash pulls this up, and let's see.
Here, I'll pull it up on mine. How about that?
Okay, cool. Thank you. When I first saw this, okay, my eye was drawn to the lady in the cage. The reason why is during the arts festival, there was this acrobatic performance, and you guys saw me scream it live, called, I think it was Strength in Motion or something like that. So there were a lot of these, it was very Cirque du Soleil-ish, if you guys remember the acrobats like in the France pavilion back in the day. Yes, that's her right in the middle. She is from that particular troupe. So it's a very gymnastics, artsy type of performance that's going on. So, and you can tell if you look at the video, her movements are very deliberate and very artful when you look at it. She's the professional.
I will say, I'm not denying the artistry here in any way. I recognize that this is probably not something that you just throw somebody in there and they know how to do it. I just think it's so strange for Disney to put 4 women in tight costumes and against a metal pole and have them dancing that close to guests.
Yes, that's what gets me. It's when I look at it, it's just like, I'm sorry, that looks like I don't know, like they should be in a hairpan video, but it's reminiscent of like a stripper burlesque show, and it's just kind of like, is that what you do?
Y'all remember Kitchen Cabaret? Well, I present to you World Nature Cabaret. I mean, it's so awkward. It's so weird. Look, I remember in 2013, Disney brought back the Golden Horseshoe Review in the Golden Horseshoe Saloon at Disneyland. And it was a special limited run, limited engagement. And the reason why was because it didn't even really last a single season, because there were Can girls that were featured in there, and parents complained, it's a little risque for 2013. I don't know how in that same mindset you can have this in Epcot in such a prominent location in 2024. I mean, look, I understand they've had weird acts before, there's no question, right? But I think this is absolutely bizarre, and yes, it is very evocative for many parents.
Yo, hang on, pause. I don't mean to interrupt and change the subject. We just found out the casting for the Silver Surfer in an upcoming Fantastic Four movie.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Julia Garner.
What?
Who's
that? Julia Garner. She is apparently the Emmy winner and stuff. She's gonna play Shalabal.
Okay, so
wait. That's not if that's Shalabal, that's different than the Silver Surfer.
Oh.
Wait, they're making Shalabal into
a Shalabal.
Oh, come on.
As a Shalabal.
Oh my goodness. Shalabal version of Silver Surfer. In the original comic, Shalabal is the woman that Norin Rad, who becomes the Silver Surfer, is in love with. Oh, that's so annoying.
Okay, good. Go. But nah, Who are they going to have as Norman Rad? Is it going to be a person of color? Have they announced that yet?
I wouldn't care if Norrin Rad was a person of color because, if he became the Silver Surfer, I wouldn't care because he becomes silver.
It better be somebody good because I remember Lawrence Fishburne was on Silver Surfer and stuff.
Yes, I remember
Better
that.
be somebody good.
Doug Jones in the costume, Lawrence Fishburne as the voice.
It better be this Silver Surfer. They better be somebody good and somebody sexy. Pause. But still,
we can't do sexy. Can't do that.
But look, though,
unless
but yeah.
it's in a theme park, though.
Yes,
Let's just be fair.
If it's in a film, yeah.
Unless it's,
hey,
if it's for
y'all know-
little
y'all
kids,
know
that's
how-
fine.
Y'all know how I am and stuff, and to me, this isn't attractive at all. For those of y'all who know me and everything, I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna try to make it awkward and everything. But yeah, hey, Valiant. But yeah,
this is actually, I like this. This is definitely my style, but this feels more Las Vegas, definitely burlesque flavor than Disney. Like I'm not sure. Like if you were cool, cool mom, cool dad, like, oh yeah, my kids can watch this, but I don't think everybody would do. I wouldn't assume everyone would want to have their kids watch this. This is a little bit much.
Yeah, I'll also add this is where it gets a little different.
I mean, yeah, they did a few poses there that are like definitely Las Vegas.
It's also the music really sells it towards that idea as well.
Really?
When it's silent, it's one thing, but with the dance music behind it, house music specifically, it really
just a little bit of what we're talking about here.
Well, the clip that I saw earlier, anyways, and it was also much closer to the clip. I just don't think this is.
No,
I would not approve this
kids.
if I was in charge of Disney. I would say, hey, what about something fun that kids would like? But maybe Epcot is just turning into a local bar.
What if they use the music to draw the younger crowd in and everything? They probably use that to get them in, but
yeah. So I would have this as for like grown-ups.
She's walking through the bushes.
Away.
Disney Springs type of thing. You can put this in Disney Springs, but
Valiant Renegade with the face comment
to Divine, who performs at the Animal Kingdom, where she's literally a performance artist, and it's very beautiful and naturey, and it all blends in, and the kids freak out when they see her because they think it's so cool. Compare something like that that's very friendly to something like this.
Yeah, this is a little much though for kids.
Nah. Well, I know, Jonas, you have to scoot, so let's give you the last word, and I can exit you out. So glad you got to be here for a while. I appreciate that, my dear.
So glad to be here, and forgive me for getting a little spicier than I usually get.
Oh no, this is what this show is for.
Oh no, Jonas, you did a fabulous job. You so handsome and everything. You did a fabulous job.
Hughes, never change, man. Never change.
Never
thank
change.
you so much for having me on. Vash, we ought to get together sometime, man.
Absolutely.
Always glad to be here while the Queen is holding court. And Retro Nerd Girl, I think this is the first time we've ever been.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So thank you so much, everyone, for having me on. I'm looking forward to catching the replay and see you real soon.
You got it, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you tomorrow morning.
Yes. Well,
nice
let me
meeting
get
you.
to some of these super chats. There are like over 70 of you guys watching. Thank you so very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank
Make sure you
you.
tell people that we're here covering the I don't know, feces fair known as the annual Shareholder. I had to do that because I can't say the other thing.
I was gonna say something worse.
Well, Mark Daly, thank you so much for these back-to-backs $5 super chats. Thank you for supporting my channel. Long-time supporter. The Empire won this round. Time to get our wounds healed, meet up with the fleet, and see what the Bothan spies have for us. Yes, because I'm sure there are quite a few. If you think this was just completely about Nelson Peltz getting on the board, what you probably don't see are all the connections that he's made behind the scenes. So yeah, he's got some Botham spies out there. Complete the sentence. This proxy fight is the best drama to come out of Disney since
Probably the Save Disney campaign, I would think, back in 2005.
Oh wow, I don't. That goes all the way back.
It goes a long way back, and
Yeah,
it got very contentious at the end there with Roy Disney, with Michael Eisner, with Bob Iger, with the ISS, and very I mean, maybe history doesn't repeat, but it definitely does rhyme.
Yeah, I think this was good to that this happened in the fashion that it did, because it sort of does shake things up a little bit. Even though they weren't able to completely sort of overthrow things, they were able to say, hey, look, there's something going on here. We need to take a look at it. A good chunk of people agree. And I'm not sure if it's actually going to get heard, or actually with at least, all is, there's a little, there's the word is out. The word is out. There is dissatisfaction about what's happening with Disney these days.
I think we can see that in the stock price as well. I mean, as soon as it was announced that Peltz had not officially won his bid to be placed on the board, I mean, that stock dropped, and it went from almost 124 to now 118. Early trading has even lowering even further. I mean, I think Retro, I think you're right. I think people are waking up to what is going on, and are like, there's a sentiment of discontent out there for sure.
And I noticed that the news, they're really harping on the last main words that he said concerning race and gender, and I don't believe that was his entire platform. Since I've been following this just gently, not as intense as the rest of you guys, but those were not the things that were really the most important to him. That was just something he said, and the news just took off with that. And I think that really did some damage to his image. But at the same time, especially with this, shareholders meeting, we're getting an idea of a couple of things from Disney, Bob Iger. I don't even think that these questions are actually real questions. I'm really conspiracy theory kid here, and I think that they are AI. I think that the questions are AI. I think that the answers are AI. I don't think any of this is real. I don't think those pictures that we saw from this is actually really done by artists. I think that they had AI composed all that stuff, because you can do it, and they are not really trying to define any artist in any of these things. It's very easy for AI to come up with this. Come up with this in 5 minutes. They can easily come up with this.
I don't want to jump ahead of the show or anything right there, but to Retro's point, I did see some artists suggesting that, upon seeing this for the first time, it felt like AI art. I'm sure we'll talk about this more in a moment, though.
Yeah, we will. And I actually have something to Retro Nerd Girl's point in a minute, but we'll go after that after we finish listening to Bob Iger. Two, first of all, Marty Snyder, thank you for that $5 super chat. Supporting my channel. You guys super chats help keep the lights on and stuff running and building my new PC. Poor R2 was in the warranty repair. His CPU is fried. Running at 71. Yes, 71 degrees Celsius. That processor was running at before I said, yeah. That was. You could hear that scream from R2 every time I turn it. So bad.
Oh man.
Thank you, Barty. I hope they can fix them. I really do. I really do. It was a mini PC, real small, like that. Sure. Perfect.
How does a mini PC look?
Like that tiny. Like about maybe 8 inches by 8 inches by 2. Yeah, that's pretty much
What's
it.
the okay? No
Mhm.
particular like graphics card like GeForce
Mhm.
anything like that.
No, it had a graphics processor inside of it,
Yeah.
which is why I don't ever want to use any graphics processor by Radeon ever again. But
I'm hoping it's something to get what that guy got right back there.
over 100 and about over 110 degrees Fahrenheit, Peter. It was smoking. It was absolutely smoking and on fire. So let's finish watching the rest of Bob Iger thinking he's smarter than the rest of us.
Not that.
I thought it was me.
I'm sorry about that. I do apologize. Here we go. Whoops, not that. We want to go back here. Here we go.
So by staggering these major launches, we've been able to commercially and operationally optimize our new offerings over time rather than having to do it all at once.
I'm sure.
And based on the guest experience that we've heard all about from all of these items that I just mentioned, we know that they're extremely popular and they're serving
really
our
selling
guests extremely well. And by the way,
Are they really extremely popular? That's why you had to discount your hotels by 30% last summer? Is that why? Okay.
the agreement we reached with the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District last week will actually enable us to pursue the kinds of significant investment in our Florida parks that you're talking about.
That's why y'all
We
had to
achieved
settle, right?
a win-win result with that deal in terms of our ability to pursue future development opportunities, but also in terms of the thousands of direct and indirect jobs and economic opportunity in the state that will come with our investment in new projects. So as we've discussed regarding our $60 billion capital expenditure plans, there's much more coming to our parks around the world, including in Florida.
What?
He read those, right?
Yeah.
He read that part.
Including in Florida. Yeah, so I mean, this is why I'm really now even more convinced some of this sounds so I would say patched together, like putting two different pieces of AI responses together to create a, a speech. I'm sorry, but I'm watching a lot of businesses right now, small businesses, large businesses, admitting freely that AI is definitely going to be what they do from now on. They are cutting out small any of those middleman jobs. You write this for me. No, they're going to have AI write things for them. It's easy, and it's on the most part getting more and more accurate every day.
Yes,
So.
And Iger has admitted himself that they're going to explore the possibilities of AI when it comes to art, when it comes to tasks, and so forth. So, to your point, Retro, that's exactly what Iger has stated before himself, and now it looks like we're actually seeing that, which is very interesting. But I love how he's trying to turn this around, like, oh, because of that settlement agreement, now we can move on and do this. Hey, I remember when you dedicated, or at least you were saying you were going to dedicate $17 billion to Walt Disney World Resort, but oh, woe is us! The evil governor is we're getting smacked around by him, and that really puts that $17 billion investment into question. But now, because nothing really changed, and you conceded all your points, now we can move forward here. I mean, it's talking out both sides of your mouth depending on who you're in front of. That is absolutely for sure right there. As Night Renegade said, it's because we got our butts beat, and now we got to move on here. It's very, very funny. Marty Snyder refers to where's the magic key? Check, Bob. That's referring to the class action lawsuit for those magic keys and how they were very deceptive, as the plaintiff suggested, in how they actually advertised that whole thing. So they've had a lot of L's that they've had to swallow right here, but how they have regurgitated them and attempted to turn them into W's is very questionable.
Extremely questionable and just desperate. Absolutely desperate. And thank you, Jose, for this comment here. They barely mentioned Florida parks. Yes, pretty embarrassing. The flagship theme park is neglected. Universal will be the new king next year. Yeah,
Can't wait.
I'm like, what are you bringing to Florida? Let's see. The Tiana's Hobby Lobby Salt Mine Bayou Muckwater Adventure, updating the songs in the Country Bear Jamboree. What
They
else?
didn't even mention that though. They didn't even mention the Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they didn't. I mean, this is a
That's what I
theme
was
park.
waiting for.
Yeah, I
This is
thought
a
they were gonna
resort
tell
that
us.
provides a third of the profit for Disney. They didn't even mention it, and they didn't even mention Tiana's. I remember I was having a conversation with Wizard earlier, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. They didn't even announce the opening date for this. A lot of people had suspected that they would. They didn't even go that far with it because I think they may have gotten some feedback from that awful poster that they released for that thing. Just, I mean, everybody was scathing on it, including some pixie dusters.
Yeah, they're like, where's our stuff, Bob? What? We've been waiting. What are you gonna do? All of this great investment and amazing attractions, they're not here. They're
Bob
over
Laza,
in the Asian parks.
Bob lies about everything, so he can't be trusted.
Mm-hmm. Like a true Disney villain.
More gossip.
It's really sad to see, and the reason why he has to flip the script on these things, and the reason why he has to necessarily hype 10-year-old projects and twist this stuff is because they haven't done anything.
And you're so right, Kiss My Grits. Don't forget supposedly replacing Frontierland Shooting Arcade with yet another useless DVC space. Remember in my live stream on Friday, and we were walking through Frontierland, and I showed you guys the shooting arcade. That was like one of the fun things I used to love doing as a kid, and they made it free. But I said, well, they might get rid of it because maybe problematic. And sure enough, we get this rumor coming up, which Braden of Mickey Views was basically like, you might want to lend a lot of credence to that because it's problematic, and they are one by one trying to take the frontier out of Frontierland. So
how Jungle Cruise at Disneyland still has the pistols, I have no idea how that is still a thing. Now, it's interesting because they don't necessarily fire at the hippos themselves. You know how Disney is with hippos.
Yeah.
They fire in the air, which is ironic because that's a felony pretty much anywhere you go. So they decide, well, let's not do the animal abuse thing. Let's show some really bad firearms practices. It's kind of hilarious.
it was always cheesy because you knew they weren't like really shooting at it. They just pull out the gun, shoot it. Okay, I'm good. And the captain would be like, you guys are okay? It's okay. I know what I'm doing. Trust me, I'm a professional. I love that improv, but can't do that. Can't do that. Well, Vash, you want to continue with this meeting here with this question?
I do believe we have finished this specific question right here. I believe that's all the comments right there. Yeah, including in Florida. I think that basically sums up that one. That was just one of the many whoppers delivered by Bob Iger right there. Were you able to find any other comments there?
Yes, I have them over here on Laughing Place. Folks over at laughingplace.com. They usually live blog Disney meetings, and I need to share my screen because you folks can't see it right there. Okay, there it is. So there we are at Laughing Place. So they live blogged the whole meeting. So let's see. Did I give people time to vote? Blah blah blah. Let's see.
Sorry
Oh,
about
was that me? Okay.
That was me. I do apologize about that. I thought I had muted those.
Let's
but
see. Well, they had the rah-rah reel, and then they were showing an image from Moana 2. You see right there. Inside Out with anxiety, explaining to the other emotions that she's there to protect her from things she can't see. What else we got here? We saw the thing with Epic Games. Bob Iger calls out Disneyland Forward, and the art that Vash put up earlier about now we're getting a look at Disneyland's version of Pandora, which It looks like
That's
it's
big
based on
news.
the Way of Water. Let's see the vapor art.
Yes, the vapor art
Vapor
right there.
art, yeah.
As predicted, I was like, well, if they spend any amount of substantial investment on the development of this, it's probably going to be based on the sequels, not necessarily the the previous version of Pandora. But it's interesting because Marty Snyder, who is in the chat right now, actually had a decent theory about this. It's like, are they timing this such that James Cameron would be handing this franchise off completely to Disney at some point, right? Because he has stated before he's only staying around for a couple of these entries right here. Are they necessarily moving this stuff around in order to do their own version of Pandora, not so dissimilar to how they did their own version of Galaxy's Edge? That's a really interesting idea for sure. But because of the timing, they are attempting to leverage this for the approval for Disneyland Forward. As people will know, the Disneyland Forward proposal has been making its way through the government of Anaheim, and I believe it just got approved by the Anaheim City Planning Commission back earlier in the month of March right there. 6-hour session. Oh, folks, I endured so you don't have to. But what Disneyland Forward is it's a rezoning of the land that Disneyland currently owns right now. Some of that space is only zoned for, let's say, theme park use. They want all of that space to be zoned towards multi-use, so they can use it in the ways they want. Build a parking garage on the old carousel site, for example, which they desperately need. So it looks like they're dangling the carrot in front of the city to say, hey, this is what we could get if we could get Disneyland Forward approved. It looks like it will be approved. It looks like the city is just that desperate. And if it is, then we'll probably see something more tangible released at D23 Expo. That takes place, in August of this year? Mm-hmm. We'll see, but I mean, apparently they're saying that this is, quote, art, creative inspiration for this possible new destination. So when Bob Iger delivered this, he said, a possible destination. And now they've come back and saying this is just creative inspiration for what we want to do. Yeah. It's not to say that this is completely not going to happen. We've heard rumors that they might implement Shanghai Disneyland's Pirates of the Caribbean technology, if anybody's familiar. Imagine a boat that is almost part simulator, part boat ride. It's multi-directional. It can move in certain places. It can be on a simulator base at will, and all kinds of things. Right. If you see the boat ride feature there, it looks like those rumors, at least so far as we've heard them, have been consistent there. So we'll have to see how this all develops, but this is kind of why people are kind of downing this, is because we've been teased with this blue sky art so many times before, but we haven't actually seen the tangible results from any of this stuff.
And yeah, exactly. And another thing to add, and that's a good point that you make, Vash, about perhaps they're looking forward to when Avatar is completely handed over to Disney. One of the reasons that Pandora, the world of Avatar in the animal kingdom, is so mind-blowing and looks so amazing is because James Cameron had tight creative control over that, the same way that J.K. Rowling had control and continues to have control over the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Now, given the state of Imagineering, or say over the past decade, unless Cameron's, then again, that was Cameron and Joe Rohde together putting Pandora, the world of Avatar, over in Animal Kingdom. And that made Animal Kingdom into a full day park, because that used to be like a half day park. It's so crowded over there, you cannot move, you can't move around. So again, with this blue sky art, we saw it for Tiana's Hobby Lobby Floral Lounge Adventure. We saw that. And what
the
we got,
area.
The dinosaur area.
Beyond Big Thunder, right?
All of that.
We've just seen a lot of this blue sky artwork before, but nothing nothing that we can really hang our hat on and say this is what they're actually doing. Whereas you have Epic Universe down the road from the I-4 of Walt Disney World telling you exactly what they're going to do. They're providing beautiful artwork on their Isle of Berk attraction, their Super Nintendo plans. Obviously, no art is necessarily needed to provide for that because we have those assets in other places. But they're providing you a lot of information about what they're actually doing, not quoting you numbers, not quoting you dollar, signs, but what they're actually doing right here. For this, some people are saying, well, is this going into DCA? And it's like, okay, well, that's not a lot of space, even if they do gain a little bit of room for Disneyland Forward. Is this on the new Disneyland Forward plots? There's so many open questions. And I think they're keeping it nebulous for a reason, but it's to the frustration of many, many people who have been following the Walt Disney Company for the last couple of years now. Josh D'Amaro, come on. What are you doing here, guy? Can we get something approved in this 4-year span?
I mean, I've been watching a lot of the reactions to this morning, and some people are really excited for it because they just haven't had a lot of things like this, I suppose. But also there are a lot of people asking questions like, what kind of ride is it going to be? There are speculations that are circling, and also you would think that they would have enough time to put something together a little bit more concrete, maybe a layout or something. This feels very much in like, let's throw it out there and see how people feel about it, and not actually a plan. Do you know what I mean? We'll go along with it if people seem to be excited about it.
And this, honestly, that tracks with the history of this whole announcement here. You'll remember that when IGER originally made the announcement that Avatar was coming to Disneyland, it was part of the earnings call. The very next one that happened with Bob Chapek being thrown out and Bob Iger being restored as the CEO. So coming into that meeting, obviously Avatar: The Way of Water just made, $2 billion or whatever, is absolutely the most successful thing that Disney has released up until that point, coming out of the pandemic right there. It's the one thing that's firing on all cylinders. He obviously needs some momentum, some positivity going into that earnings call. So it's like, let's just put Avatar in Disneyland, and then we'll just throw $1 billion on it or whatever, and it'll be fine. It'll be Star Wars Galaxy's Edge 2.0 in terms of what he's thinking. And I think honestly, that was the intention up until he, kind of investigates the finances even further and says, oh no, we are in a much worse position than I ever thought possible. Let's go ahead and let's give him the silent treatment for a little bit as we figure out what we're going to do, because I think even he didn't know how dire the situation was, as he said repeatedly since then.
I'm actually wondering how much money will actually go into building this. I mean, think back to what they did with Star Wars on Galactic Star Cruiser and everything. They spent so much money on it, but at the same time, when people actually got there, it was creatively inept and everything, and it makes you wonder how much money exactly went into that and stuff. So if you think like it was like over like millions, if not close to $1 billion and stuff, why not just actually make it look like it's worth that amount? But fact of the matter is, this may look good on like as a picture so far, but at the same time, we just may have to hold off on to seeing how it's going to really look like in person.
Well, I remember when Tiana's Boat Adventure looked pretty good, right? With the boat, Aunt Mama Odie's boat up there. And it's like, we're getting something really cool. And then obviously that changes, right? To Hughes' point right here. We have to see what is going to be tangible after all of this. Because this isn't even blue sky from what we understand. This is creative inspiration. I've never heard of that term.
Yeah.
But the original Pandora was anywhere between $900 million to about $1.2 billion. And that was back in the day. I mean, construction on that started at 2013, 2014. That doesn't open until 2017. Now, with construction prices at least 30% higher, with interest rates a little bit higher, and the fact that they're only committing anywhere between $1.9 to $2.5 billion over the next 10 years for Disneyland Forward projects, folks, I mean, if
Well,
they want to match Avatar in Florida, they're going to use all that money on this project. I don't think they're going to do that. Go ahead, Richard.
Well, I think that's why we see the stock go down as much as it's done, because people are looking at these answers and going, no, this is not it. There are I know there are some people who are really excited about the win today, and they're excited about a lot of the stuff. They're excited about this picture. And I think that that's really good. Like, there should be some people who are excited for this stuff. But I think after a while, and it starts to sink in. It's like, well, okay. How many times have we been taken down this road, and we're still, empty-handed. We're still empty-handed. Like, if they're really, I mean, why not talk about Tiana's place? Like, that would have been really.
I have my theory.
Me too, because it seems weird. Like, it's in development. We should hear something about how things are going there.
Yeah,
and
I think you would.
We won't.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
Nothing.
mean to interrupt you, my dear.
Oh, no. I'm almost like, yeah, we haven't heard anything. So
That's
that
the
kind
theory,
of.
Lorena. What's the theory?
My theory is, okay, well, first of all, the whole thing, it looks like broccoli hill. It's so, ugh. I mean, there's nothing inspirational really about it. But I'm out there and I'm taking video for that park place. And I know some of the cast members start to know who I am. And one guy goes by and he says, next month. I'm like,
Okay.
oh, okay. I guess IGER's going to mention something about it in the shareholders call, because usually that's when they start dropping bangers about here's what you're going to expect, coming up from the company. And I'm not sure. Let's see. Is it the end? It's about to be the end of, I think, their second quarter or their third. I think their second quarter. So possibly there's an earnings call that's coming up soon. And if that earnings call is before the got to be before the pass holder previews for this,
I would think
maybe they'll announce it then. But I would think that if you're trying to impress the money and the shareholders, that you would at least bring up that ugly artwork that you had for it. Advertising it, to say, hey, this is what we're bringing. Yes, here it is. This is Broccoli Hill right here. No beautiful magnolias or anything like that you're used to seeing in the South. But I thought that they would at least tell us. Oh, May 8th. Okay, May 8th. That may be when they officially announce it.
Okay.
That may be when they announce it, and pass holder previews are pretty close to that. I think it's like a month or so before they open it. But I think, I'm going to land this plane. I think that the reason why they didn't bring it up in the shareholders meeting is because this thing is not the creative juggernaut that they think it is going to be. When I walk by here and other people walk by, they're just like, okay. There isn't any excitement around it. There isn't any excitement, like, for example, Velocicoaster, okay, at Universal. Universal didn't even announce what the heck it was. It was the worst kept secret ever. And people are just like, this is so awesome. I can't wait for it. There was so much hype before that opened, and then Universal finally announces it. I think they announced it at one of their earnings calls, but at least they announced it. The fact that they didn't talk about this, I think that they're really embarrassed and worried about what this looks like. Because I would think that if this thing was firing on all cylinders and was looking all great, you can wait to say, you know what, Tiana can't wait to welcome you to her Bayou adventure. And they skipped over it.
I mean, even in the hype video,
didn't say it.
Even in the hype video, they didn't even talk about it really, right? Much more anything else from Walt Disney World. But we have heard from Braden from Mickey View suggest that from his sources, he was hearing that Bob Iger did tour the Splash Mountain / Giannis by Adventure site and said, this is really boring. So maybe it was Bob Iger's own enthusiasm for the project or lack thereof, which is why... Right, yeah, he's like, I ain't talking about this. Hey, I can sell something, I can't sell this, which is really an indictment of this attraction, like you said, Lorena. I mean, this thing is, if it's supposed to be open in a month, and the company has spent, I would guess, anywhere between $75 to $125 million overlaying both these things, respectively. Why aren't you talking about it? No. Isn't this supposed to be your Epic Universe response right here? The fact that it was even mentioned is really something.
Oh, it's really making me concerned. And now look at this poster. See how colorful it is?
Right.
Where is the color in the actual layout? Why is it all green? And I see some white as well. But where's all that beautiful color?
I can answer that. They're trying to attract outsiders and everything who don't know much about it. When they actually premiere it with the videos and all that, when they finish it, they're going to make it look all bright and colorful and everything. But when they get there, even on their sunniest of sunny days and stuff in Florida, people from places like Idaho, Iowa, where I am, Virginia, going to be like, that's it? That is not what it is on the poster. That doesn't look like people in New Orleans going to be like, that ain't even New Orleans, man.
That's not Orleans.
And to think these people spent how long in New Orleans? I don't think they even went anywhere.
They're stupid.
Yeah.
Apparently they've been 2 years there. What were you doing? Why isn't this reflective of that place? Sorry, Retro. I do apologize.
No. I'm with you. I'm feeling the same. And that water shed there with the Tiana crown on top. I mean, some that could be a beautiful yellow or a beautiful something with some pop and some kind of pizzazz. This doesn't feel like Disney at all. This doesn't feel like the movie. It just looks like something interesting, but it doesn't feel like the actual show or the actual movie or this beautiful kind of escape from reality that we're kind of going on, because that's what this is all about, right? This is all about escaping reality for a few minutes. We can go somewhere where there's trees everywhere and there's a boring looking water.
I'll be honest,
with all these boring colors.
And sorry, Valiant Renegade, for setting you off in the comment in the chat and everything. I do apologize for that. I didn't mean to get you upset, but from the look of that mountain and everything, that looks like Mount Trashmore here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And that landmark used to be an actual landfill before they turned it into a park. That looks like Mount Trashmore.
It does. You guys remember the original Splash Mountain? It had the red Georgia clay hills, and it had all these roots, and then you had the briar patch. It looked perfect with the thorns coming out and the beautiful water going around, and the colors popped. And then you had the little, where the animals lived at, their little houses, and then you had all these individual bird houses, and everything looked like the perfect color palette. It did. Yes, there we go.
Ooh.
Look like that.
I mean, it was
interesting.
How well this was designed right here is really a testament to those second generation Imagineers who were fans themselves, who grew up going to Disneyland and also Knott's Berry Farm, where one of the original log flumes was for so long right there, and wanted to really do that attraction justice, wanted to do a version of that was just breathtaking, that could stand up to the likes of Pirates of the Caribbean and so forth. And I think they really accomplished that back in the day. so much color, so much life, so much energy, so much fun. And to see even some of the earlier stuff, this is, I believe Universal Dorks was suggesting that there, what was it, that Disneyland facade of Pirates of the Caribbean was represented in that bottom right there, which if you look, this is Tokyo's, but the reason I bring up Tokyo's is because it's an exact replication of Disneyland's, but it doesn't have the newer queue area underneath right here. So you can really kind of see the juxtaposition of these things. It's very, very close to that. A very strange design choice. It's very weird how this is actually going right here. It's just such a shame because to lose all those great animatronic figures from Mark Davis's America Sings, to have this attraction, this forced perspective, by the way. This was designed to make this drop look as big as possible, even though there were design limitations in making this a thing. It was a 52-foot drop, I believe, 45-mile-per-hour thing. It was one of the steepest and longest drops in the world at that point, the biggest attraction at Disneyland, and they decided to make it look even bigger than it was. An incredible expense for the company to undertake this, so much so that Frank Wells actually had to approve it. It was that big. So to take that and to attempt to diminish the size of the drop because, well, we don't necessarily want this to be a thrill ride anymore. We want this to be a family attraction, which is it's never going to be this height requirement's not going to change, but they're using oversized props to do maybe a reverse force perspective to make this drop look as small as possible. Just really is a shame. It really is quite sad.
Yeah, because that drop is just, what made the original Splash Mountain, like, that's the attraction. I have to go and ride, which is why the lines were so long. I know there's kids who were just like, I want to finally meet the height requirement so I can go on Splash Mountain. It was purposely scary because Burr Rabbit was trying to tell Burr Prox and Burr Bear, oh, I'm scared to go over there at long drop, into the Briar Patch. That was on purpose, so I tell you.
This is what happens when you have a CEO who doesn't have any creativity.
No, when you have your CEO who is a weatherman instead of acting like a creative CEO. Well, first of all, over 70 of you guys watching, thank you so very, very, very much. And we've got some member chats and a super chat to go through. So let's take it out. Let's see. We're gonna go to. Here we go. Kiss My Grits, who's been a member for 3 months. Thank you so much, my dear. Says, will D Forward ever be open before 2030? I'm going to throw that one to Vash. What do you think?
They're saying that Disneyland Forward is really a 30-year project. So there will be aspects that will be open within the first 10 years because that's what the initial commitment is. And that's part of the $1.9 billion or so. So there will be some aspects open by 2030. What is it, 4 now? But for the real full build out, I mean, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Let's see what we have next up. We have got Stuttering Guitarist, member for 5 months, another valued member of that Park Place family. Says, does Bob Iger trim his horns or just digitally edit them out?
I say trim them because Disney apparently doesn't have the budget to afford like 3D on horns and stuff or to be edited out. So.
And no, Maleficent is not lending him hers because he's nowhere near the villain level as Maleficent. She's just like, I just keep hearing that laugh in my head. The best cackle. Kiss My Grits for $4.99. Thank you so much, my dear. It says, isn't the storyline for Tiana's Bayou Tiana's Bayou Hut. That guests are joining Tiana on a foraging journey throughout the Bayou Swamp to find an ingredient. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. To
That is the story, yeah.
find an ingredient, not we're going to take you on a journey of making gumbo and you're going to find out all the ingredients where we have some ingredients that
Okay.
are African, some ingredients that are French, some ingredients that are Spanish, some ingredients that are native, and all of these people who come together to make New Orleans cuisine what it is, because her father said in the film, food brings people together from all walks of life. But they don't want to do that.
Well, Reina, maybe you need to go for. You need to be an Imagineer.
We need the help, Lorena, please.
I wanted to be. I'm just like,
that was good.
Carmen Smith was an accountant, and she just applied and was instantly hired. Come on, Lorena, you can do it. Anybody can.
You know I will. You know I will. I love that stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, I was just fascinated by what they could do. I even have the big Imagineering book with the foreword from John Lasseter, Marty Sklar's in it. I think Jay Rizzullo is in it. It's when Disney used to sell those really big, thick table books, and it's like I have to have all of them. But that was one of mine. Oh yeah, that gumbo with kale and cucumber. Oh.
He says that, but I think they sell that in some places at Disney property.
That is a culinary abomination. I better not ever come on. That if you think it was bad that I gave Universal all kinds of hell for making jambalaya with black eyed peas in it, if I come across gumbo like this, they're gonna hear it. They are going to hear from it. So Hughes, I know you have to leave us, unfortunately, but we love the fact that you were here hanging out with us, roasting this call. So let the folks know where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Well, you all can find me on YouTube under Views with Views or Jennifer News. I do have a few videos, including one from uploaded on the whole debacle with the Disney shareholders vote and stuff, as well as with Chloe Cole and her reaction and to what she had to say to Bob Iger as well as Disney company. It was tremendous. I also had the video clip playing in that video and stuff that I made. So go ahead and check it out. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. And before I go, I want to give a shout out to Peter, Realtor 2.0, Ray, that's also in the chat, CJ from Rubber Inc., as well as Nolan Thunder, Professor R2, Amanda Pizzilato. Ooh, please forgive me if I mess up your name. All right. As well as Marty Snyder. So thank you all for having me. Lorena, I've missed you. Vash, I hope to actually be on your show of that Park Place on live stream one day. And Valiant, if you're still in the chat,
get him up.
Gotta get your boy.
And it's nice to see you again, lovely retro nerd girl. We gotta talk Star Wars one day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Later. Y'all take it easy.
All right.
Take
Take
it
care,
easy.
Hughes.
I'll see y'all next time. Y'all so lovely and spicy.
And that's what this show is about. You got your friends that drop in, drop that spice, and drop on out. But love the conversation. Speaking of Chloe Cole, and this kind of goes to what I know what Retro Nerd Girl was saying. She's like, I kind of have this little bit in my head conspiracy theory about it possibly being AI, and I heard a lot of people say that, and I had to kind of think about that too a little bit. It's like what I thought I heard that they could call it. Well, this is a young lady who brought up the I believe she's the one who brought up the detransitioning issue. So this is her. So I'm going to let this play, let you guys listen to this right here.
Good morning. I am Chloe Cole, patient advocate for Do No Harm, a group that seeks accountability in the medical profession. I am presenting proposal number 7 titled Report on Gender Transitioning Compensation and Benefits, sponsored by National Legal and Policy Center.
Oh, remember when I was talking about how some shareholders can present proposals? This is one of those individual shareholders like myself.
Disney pays for gender transition interventions, but not detransitioning care. Therefore, the company discriminates based on gender identity under EEOC regulations. I speak from personal experience as someone who was deceived and physically harmed at a young age by gender ideology, validated by the medical industry and pushed to the masses by corporations like Disney. Influenced by modern media and social networks, I began a transition to male at age 12. By age 16, after practitioners I trusted encouraged me to take puberty blockers and get a double mastectomy, I tried to come back to reality, but it was too late. My body has been irreversibly damaged, and years later, my chest is still in bandages. My doctors have abandoned me. You doctors look and shrug. As a result, I am suing those professionals who steered me into taking these destructive steps that have permanently scarred me. But Disney, in its arrogance, has responded to our proposal by stating that I am only trying to generate attention for a limited agenda.
You guys hear that?
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Basically trying to say she's trying to get attention. Kind of like how they were saying Nelson Peltz is just doing this to cause an unneeded distraction.
Mr. Iger, Disney, under your watch, is pushing the limited agenda of gender ideology. Disney has become the Ursula that is stealing the voices of thousands of little Ariels across the world by telling us that we can be something that we can never become. The lawsuits are coming, sir. It's only a matter of time before current or past employees whose bodies and lives have been irreversibly harmed will show up at your door looking for justice and restitution. Please vote for proposal number 7.
Wow.
Powerful.
That's tough to watch.
Yeah,
Very much so.
Yeah, it really is when it like because it's a real thing that affects people. And the fact that Disney would accuse her of trying to want attention as opposed to a shareholder who has something very important, to share, tells you most of what you need to know about this company. And yes, the board advised everyone to vote against it. And yes, it failed, but it happens all the time. The shareholder proposals that Disney likes, with all their friends, the institutional investors, those get passed. The ones that shareholders, individual ones, put up, get knocked down.
Yeah, I think what's really hard, because I'm pretty sympathetic to a lot of the stories, and especially when you get to transgender, there's a conversation. Some people are definitely against it, and some people are fine with it, except for certain situations. But in the case of like this, where somebody is transitioning, they really don't get any support from the LGBTQ promoters and people who are supporters, because they look at them as sort of people who have sort of abandoned them, if you will, and are looking for attention or trying to do things that are anti what they stand for, which is not true. She just said something about her own experience. And if Disney is willing to help people transition, they should exactly be willing to help people transition. It's just the reverse of the same thing. So in fact, if they believe in the fact that transitioning to a different gender is actually possible, then she's only transitioning to another gender. Like she was male, and now she's transitioning to female. They should have paid for that. And so that's where things get murky and gets a little upsetting, because she's obviously in a lot of pain and suffering. So it's really tough to watch this. It breaks your heart.
It really is. And I'm actually going to get back into Laughing Places live blogging of this. That whole attitude you will see permeate through these questions. So it's interesting because before the Q&A portion, Bob says, now that this distracting proxy content test is behind us, we're eager to focus 100% of our attention on growth and valuation for shareholders and creative excellence for consumers. Well, the stock is jumping off a cliff right now. But the Q&A portion, questions pre-submitted and asked by a moderator. Your moderator is going to be your AI.
It's ridiculous.
You couldn't even get a live person to ask you. Yeah, you get a darn AI, which says you're not even worth us having a human voice. Or even you, Bob, read the freaking question, okay, which would have been even better, but then, that would have called from some humility. But let's see, the first one he talked about, first question was about streaming strategy. And he talks about the progress they've made with streaming, including the recent integration of Hulu into Disney Plus. Anyone can see this coming because Hulu is a moneymaker. I mean, I don't know about you guys, Richard or Girl or Vash, but I've had Hulu for like over a decade. I'm always watching something on Hulu. Disney Plus, I don't really go to very much. So it looks like they're finally, I haven't checked my Disney Plus, but have integrated Hulu into Disney Plus. So apparently Bob thinks this is a big deal. But if some people are like me, we're not going to Disney Plus to watch Hulu. We're just firing up Hulu.
And that's why I think the strategy, I think it's the crux of their strategy, right? Because I think they know that Hulu has better ARPU, or average revenue per user. It has probably better retention if you look at the statistics when it comes to churn and so forth. The variety of content on there is much more varied, obviously, than Disney Plus and stuff like that. So it's like, if we integrate Hulu into Disney Plus, then we get a flourishing of both, let's say. But it's quite weird because in a race for speed, they put their Ferrari on the back of an F-150 and have it go. And it's like, why are you doing this? Exactly. Yeah. Hulu is the much more renowned product. It's a much more ubiquitous product right now in the minds of consumers. It's weird how you would stuff Hulu into Disney Plus when it should probably be the other way
around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I agree 100%. And Hulu does have more grown-up content. I think that's the key element there. Mm-hmm. And I think Disney just doesn't know what to do with the properties that they have that are more grown up, that they've acquired from like Fox and some other sources. But it is definitely, Hulu is the place. Like I've heard more people go there than Disney Plus. I have both, but I hardly use Disney.
I think people treat Disney Plus as the digital babysitter, and the Hulu platform is the one adults actually watch, to your point, Retro. But go ahead, Reina.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Hulu, that's the one where it's just like, oh, this movie is on, or this show is on, or because I'm too cheap to get Crunchyroll, I'll wait for the English dub. I am. Well, I may have to do it, but I'll wait for the English dub, and the English dub of anime will drop onto Hulu. Yeah. So I watch it for so many things, not just movies, but there's like television, like broadcast episodes. Um, and that's mostly what I use it for. And I'm so used to getting like there's always something to watch on Hulu. That's just like kind of where it is. So it's like I was just like Disney Plus. I mean, I rarely use it. It has nowhere near like the staying power of like Hulu. There's always something to watch on Hulu. So let's see. Question 2. The parks are a special place and deserve to be maintained, restored, and treasured for the next generation and generations to come.
That's AI.
How is Disney striving to restore the perk service level and details that truly make a Disney theme park experience special?
It's totally AI.
That's my AI voice.
Softball questions, by the way. And it's like, okay, striving to restore the perk service level and details. I think there is something to be said about this one for sure, because we have seen the degradation of the experience of the parks ever since 2020, really. When the parks came back, obviously people knew that it was going to be a slow process in restoring these things, but there are still things that we still have to contend with even today, and a reduction of services that we are paying more than we ever have for. So I think this kind of imbalance is being felt across the board right here, which might be at the crux of this question right here, or an amalgamation of questions asked along this similar line right here and assembled in AI. And by the way, I don't even know if did we see Bob Iger on the call? He might be AI too.
No, we didn't see Bob Iger on the call. No.
Well,
Right.
there's AI now that is really, really good at imitating people's voices. And
Audio.
some of the things that he was saying, if you listen to it, really actually does sound AI generated. And following the words, you can follow the words and say, this is really not a sentence a human being would construct. But I digress.
Yeah, it was
like
very much the weatherman type of voice. But when he's saying the level of quality at the parks, okay, and actually we're going to talk more about the parks on my Welcome to Florida show, which Vash is going to drop into. Level of quality of the parks. Let's see. I've seen dirty trams, overflowing trash. Attractions, e-ticket attractions that are not open when the park opens. Let's see. Expensive food, quality not near where it used to be, and they're ripping folks off with the lightning lane and how much that costs. And people thinking that they have to have it or else they're going to miss out. As for park hopping, I guess, but if you have an annual pass like me, there's certain days you can't get into the parks, and you can't hop to the Magic Kingdom, which is the most popular park, on a Saturday. They won't let you do that. So, and I'm like, Bob,
if you're traveling there from far, that's going to be a real huge letdown.
It's profound what we are seeing at the parks right now, and they've, like I said, they've never charged more for it. I mean, at Disneyland Resort, I can tell you right now, they still have whole venues that don't have shows in them, like the Fantasyland Theater over in Disneyland, or the 2,000 capacity theater in the form of the Hyperion. Still doesn't have a permanent show. That used to be a mainstay for Disney California Adventure in years prior, and now that venue is left empty. And there are plenty of venues in Walt Disney World that have been left empty as well, but no nighttime parades, no nighttime entertainment offerings on many of these places right here, a reduction of pyrotechnics and so forth. I mean, it is the reduction of the guest experience and charging more for it, or pricing things out separately, like in the form of Genie Plus. And so I think it's really profound that at Disneyland, at least, Disneyland used to have 1 million annual pass holders back in the day. Now, obviously, when they got rid of the annual pass holder program, they replaced it with the Magic Key program. And every single time they sold the Magic Key, it would sell it almost instantaneously. Well, if you look at the Disneyland website right now, you can buy a Magic Key at the 3 higher levels right now. And I think it's like 4, almost 5 weeks now that this has been available. And now they have placards in the front of their park saying, hey, would you like to upgrade to a Magic Key? Why don't you go ahead and get a Magic Key? I haven't seen those placards, folks. I haven't seen that since, I want to say, about 2001, 2002. Because when they reached that 1 million mark, they said, okay, we have a reduction of this. But even now, when they're trying to sell their product, people aren't buying. Star Wars Night, for example, at Disneyland, they have 8 nights for Star Wars Night. Usually that would sell out instantaneously. Only one of the 8 has actually sold out. That we are seeing a drop off in which we haven't seen before in a very long time.
That is insane. As insane as this $50 super chat from Kiss My Grits. Woo!
Whoa.
Making it rain in here. Thank you. Says my Disney streaming strategy: 1, focus on 100% on Hulu. Do not build D+. 2, add a Disney Vault tile on Hulu, plus a Star Wars and Marvel tile for the new series only. 3, license ESPN content to Netflix along with a selection of Marvel and Lucasfilm movies. Dude, stop making sense.
Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah.
Kiss My Grits would definitely know about a thing or two about this. That's all I'll say. Very bright mind, very bright individual. I think Disney definitely needs, like you said, Lauren, it needs a little bit more sense here.
Yeah. It lines up so much with what what the consumer wants. It's like we want those Disney Vault titles. Imagine having to have all of those titles at your fingertips. That's the stuff that we want to.
Yeah. And they're not all there. I think Willow they got rid of permanently.
Yeah, they yeeted that one.
Yeah. And there was a movie, Crater, that they had on there and they made. That was a Disney special, and then they sold it to Amazon. So now you can find it, I think, on Amazon. I was like, what? Okay, why are you doing no? I don't get their strategy. Except for the smartest thing that they did was they started getting foreign titles, that was a smart move. But that was just basically copying Netflix. So
yeah, for the most part. Okay, let's see. The next question is about reaching older audiences. And Bob talks about upcoming releases such as Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, that trailer actually looks pretty good, but who knows what the film is gonna be like. Retro Nerd Girl, I know you got something to say.
Yes. I know.
Please.
Look, I love anything to do with Planet of the Apes. I don't mind. I just have a problem with seeing so many CGI characters, and it's supposed to be, and you're supposed to buy into the fact that they're real world, but it looks like an interesting story. If the story's great, I might not even pay attention to that. So that's what I have to say about that. But they better really come correct and land the plane for Kingdom of the Planet Apes, because I think a lot of people are hyped up for that, and I want to see people happy.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I love. There isn't a Planet of the Apes movie that I have not liked. So
yeah, me too.
I'm really hoping it's good. Like I said, I love the trailer. Yeah, they're both Fox. Yeah, Alien Romulus. I've heard good things about that. I've seen the trailer. It does give you in space, no one can hear you scream, call back to the original one. So I did like how that was set up. Deadpool and Wolverine, I cannot freaking wait to watch that movie.
That looks like it's going to be really good.
It looks like it is going to be an absolute blast. Hey, Paula Bradley's fun. It just the trailer. It reminds you of the first Deadpool movie. So I'm waiting for that. So yeah, he talked about those. Those are probably going to be only 3 Disney movies that are actually going to make some money this year.
And they're all Fox.
And they're all Fox. Yes, and they're all Fox.
Ooh.
Yeah, not core.
They're all Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next question is, as societal values and norms change, how does the Walt Disney Company balance the tag being of evolving with the times to create timeless content?
Oh, this is so generated
that
by
appeals
AI.
to current generations, and still preserving rich traditions of the human connection and original storytelling?
Yeah, this is an AI question.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this was not how this was worded.
No, I don't think it is either, because it's just like something don't make sense. Don't make sense here. But here, let's see. Walt understood that storytelling is the power to connect us all to one another. Okay, they don't even really like mentioning Walt Disney unless they want to try to connect with people, because there's usually dumping on Walt Disney's. Let's see, for the most part. Let's see. And even after all these years, we're still guided by the same core ideals of respect, understanding, and compassion under wavering sense of optimism. And our stories continue to celebrate heroes, emphasize family and friendship. You believe that? I got some swampland to sell you.
At this point, it might be a bridge in Baltimore, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen, unfortunately, the Disney brand be tarnished by what are essentially activists who want to use the edifice of Disney to deliver their message, right? And that's undermined a lot of franchises, undermined a lot of what could have been great stories, and a lot of creative vision. So, and we're seeing I don't know, tags applied to stories like Peter Pan and so forth. Oh, this isn't necessarily reflect the values of the Walt Disney Company today. It really is an unfortunate time, that is for sure.
Yeah, I think that they've forgotten the art of storytelling in general. That you could introduce all these ideas, all sorts of different characters. Doesn't matter the race or sex, but if the story's really good, well, you've got me. You've got everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people are looking at shows that should have been a slam dunk. TV shows, movies, it should have been a slam dunk, and wondering what happened. Like, what happened to Ant-Man and the Quantum Mania? What happened with Ahsoka? What happened with Echo? That's a slam dunk. People were looking for that. What happened there? What happened with the season 3 of The Mandalorian? What happened with Boba Fett? These are strong questions where you have to ask yourself, why aren't these stories actually being told in a fashion that wants you to continue to watch? They had us right in the palm of their hands, and they let it slip away by allowing terrible storytelling, including, for sure, She-Hulk.
Oh God.
A lot of people were so excited for that show.
Mm-hmm.
They were so excited for that show.
Yeah,
and they forgot about storytelling. So it's really, something, whatever formula that they're using right now to tell stories, they have to really consider completely dumping it and start off with real writers who want to tell a story, someone with a vision. And it's just we're just not seeing that now. We're not getting. Look at Andor. People may not think that Andor is the most exciting, but it has a compelling story. People who have saw that really feel passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's very important, is can you get your customers to feel passionate about your products again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Retro Nergo, for comparison, when we watched, like, say, if you compare Wish, which I may be doing a roast watch of that for members because it's coming out on Disney Plus, and Princess and the Frog.
Oh,
Princess and the Frog had this beautiful storytelling to it, the visual element to it, the music element to it, why all of those songs told the story and advanced the plot. Well, we enjoyed it at the same time. And with Wish, that's supposed to be this crowning achievement of 100 years of Disney animation, doesn't have any of that. And it's just like you've fallen from the gold standard that you used to have. So you can't blame people who are used to that gold standard not really being advanced in any way. So it's like, yes, we just want good storytelling. No agenda stuff first. Just give us good storytelling. That'll hook us in.
Yeah.
Definitely from the beginning. Let's see. Next question will be about when we will hear more about what the park's investment will be. Bob says, trust me, bro, they have a cadence to announcements and will share more when they have tangible things to share. They don't have anything. They really don't. I mean, the tiles on, I think, Communicore, that's going to open up next year. I mean, not next year, excuse me, next month. How far behind schedule is that?
Yeah, this is not a good answer.
No.
I mean, it's a simple question.
Yeah.
That should have been expected on a shareholders meeting. In fact, should have been offered up.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, this is really telling.
You would have thought that you would have had a little bit more of an answer for this, but they're being cagey. I don't necessarily know why they are. I mean, maybe they're saving announcements for D23 Expo, but I honestly, I think at D23 they're just going to get a refinement of what they've already announced. I don't think we're getting much of anything. They even say that the turbocharging that they talk about for the parks division or the experiences division isn't going to happen until the latter half of that 10-year plan. That means 5 years plus. Hard to take them seriously when we've been teased for so long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I would agree with that assessment. With the previous one.
Nice.
Yes, this one right here. This one
Thank
right
you.
here.
Yeah, that one right there. Not this next one.
Put a chicken in it and make her name it gay.
Yeah, there you go.
I had to play.
Oh, got to. I freaking love that. I can't believe I didn't clip that one. Let's see. They asked about a high school mentorship program. Bob responds by sharing they do not have a formal program. That is true. There isn't one that is formal. There's some that are informal. And I know from working with some programs that mentored some. Actually, it's funny he didn't mention the Disney Dreamers Academy because that is geared towards, I think, high schoolers and I think like middle schoolers. Steve Harvey actually kicked that off, and it was mostly just to empower youth, with careers at Disney. So Bob was not, no, he was not 100% accurate. If I remember correctly, the Disney Dreamers Academy is for high schoolers, I believe. I do remember that one. And let's see, Nikki D, I see that $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, my dear. I'm going to get to that one in a minute. Let's see, I'm trying to wrap up these questions because we've got to run it out of time. Next question, is it possible for Disney to stay out of political and social agendas and just provide entertainment? Yeah, we all want to know this, and we all know the answer is no. I believe we have a responsibility to do good in the world and not to advance any kind, okay, I don't know what happened there with the transcription. As long as I'm in the job, I'm going to continue to be guided by a sense of decency and respect and will trust our instincts. The answer is no.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my goodness gracious. He always talks about his way of pivoting this question, by the way, is to say that, well, it's not politics, you see. It's about, these are human rights issues, or this is the right thing to do, and, that sort of thing. He likes to play with this language a lot because, obviously, it is not in the company's best interest to get political, but he himself doesn't consider these things political because he is such an ideological zealot when you think about it. So it's twisting of the language here for sure.
Yeah. And a long way of saying no, we're going to keep doing that. Let's see. Next question is about women's sports within ESPN. I've never been more bullish about women's sports, and I think evident the popularity has grown tremendously. I would totally disagree with you on that. I'm not interested in watching WNBA. Women's sports, well, back when the U.S. women's soccer team was actually pretty kick-ass and they were just winning games, yeah, that started to get popularity. But yeah, so he's basically trumping it up that hey, we've got women's sports. I'm all for it. Got to be empowering women, because he sure as heck would not say no, it doesn't make as much money as men's sports. You can't have him saying that.
That clip can get through, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I guess they had to throw a ringer or two in there. Like, Bob, let's kind of make it look, trying to make it look legit. Or try to look legit. Hey, Amanda. Let's see. Last questions. Will other Taylor Swift concerts be added to Disney Plus?
No, but I think they did add some other people. I think they had Beyonce on there and some other concert stuff.
We all remember Elton John, right? What happened there at that infamous
what happened?
concert?
I missed that.
That was when Chapek was officially handed his pink slip.
Yeah.
Like during the concert.
During the event.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's Disney and concerts, an interesting history for sure.
Mm-hmm. But they needed to have some money, something to draw people on to Disney Plus. So they paid, I forget how many million they dropped to get Taylor Swift's concert, her Eras tour with bonus songs and everything onto Disney Plus. But yeah, they paid for that.
Yeah,
and
that was a smart idea, actually.
Yeah, it's like you could do that.
So the number going around is $75 million. That seems a little bit low, to be honest with you. But they, it's either $75 million goes to Taylor Swift or another Disney Plus series that ultimately fails and doesn't necessarily bring in more subscribers. For Disney, not a bad investment if your creative engine has stalled.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll just we'll contract out some talent. So that's what they did. And Bob's like, they says they would be thrilled to continue working with Taylor Swift in the future.
But all they did was throw money at it because Taylor had already done all the work already. She had gone to all the studios and all of them refused. And so this is another one of those situations where they're doing zero work and just throwing money at it, and it's like, oh yeah, well, this is ours now, and that's pretty much. And I was doing some research into Paramount Pictures. I don't mean to derail anything like that, one of the biggest things that we know of Disney nowadays is definitely how they got. Actually, the first movies from the MCU started over at Paramount Pictures, and they bought up all those pictures. And so it's like, you mean they didn't even come up with the idea of starting the MCU? And it was very eye-opening. I was like, wow. We at all this time we think that Disney is just such a powerhouse, so much creativity over there. And I'm realizing that it's not true. It's buying. That's their creativity, is buying everything up. And well, if you're going to at least do that, buy everything, well, buy the correct people to come up with the best plan for your for Tiana's Bayou experience, because right now it looks terrible. It looks terrible.
It looks so bad. I mean, you have like Frontierland that's got like those rustic, mahogany woods, beech wood, the dust going on. Yes, it's further down from the River Pooh. The River Pooh is back up towards towards all the presidents. But you have, these wonderful rustic, desert like colors and all of that going on. And then there's a big Broccoli Mountain sitting there. And it's just like,
it's astounding. Look, okay.
Compare that next to Big Thunder Mountain. And
I don't like being too negative, but maybe in the last minute they'll splash some color on there. But it doesn't look like it. It doesn't. It looks like they have already created the look for this place. That's what it looks like.
Scaffolding is down.
Yeah, it's down.
So unattractive.
Yeah. If you go check out my you saw the last Stroll and Chill live stream I did. I went over there and saw it, and it's like, not doing so great.
It's shocking.
It's a shame. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. I don't know. too much hope. I'm thinking, oh well, I'll always have Tom Sawyer Island. Maybe not for long.
Yeah, that's the other rumor that Brady.
That's gonna probably go soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frontierland. Poor Frontierland.
Well, Nikki D, thank you so much for that super sticker. A teal pear guy going like this for $5. Thank you so very much. You guys super chats so help keep this channel running and help give you really, really great content, and for paying my hairdresser, who is quite thankful. Quite thankful for you guys sending me super chats and everything. So as always, this has been such a great show. And Dr. Kocho Dragon, I do not want to miss this. Remember, for 5 months, says, I know it's a tough day, but you guys are awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a tough day, but at the same time, I see the groundwork being laid. Either Disney is going to change, or they're going to suffer the consequences, because the shareholder people came out swinging with these shareholder proposals that Disney did not want people to vote for. And I have not heard that much animosity like ever. People are fed up. People are fed up, and the stock, let's see. Let's check. I think it's still at 118.
I think because the market
still at
closed.
118. Yeah, because the market closed. So I'm not seeing like any of the futures yet. But yeah, considering it started the day at like 122.70, now it's down 118.39. Tomorrow is going to be an interesting day on the stock exchange.
Absolutely,
to be
100%.
sure. And I think IGER is going to be on the Squawk Box tomorrow, so that'll be an interesting one.
Oh, wow.
Wonder what he's going to say.
Maybe pre-screen questions, but no AI questions there. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Outcast Creative. Hey, Lance, a black lady's hair is expensive. I speak from experience here. Great show, peeps. Yes.
Oh, Lance.
Yes. I'll also shout out that if you are in the Orlando area and you're looking for a multicultural hairdresser, go check out Chelsea over at the Studio Blue Suites in Kissimmee. She will definitely hook you up. Definitely hook you up. Rakari Hair Studio. Yes, I have to say that. Okay, folks, well, we're gonna go wrap up. And yes, I'm so glad you brought this up, Amanda Pizzolato. Real quick, Lorena, will there be a dark council tonight? Didn't get any notices, just wanted to be sure. Well, yes, there is a dark council tonight, and guess what? You don't even have to leave this stream because you will be automatically redirected over to the Dark Council show. So you just leave this tab open or whatever, and be pushed over there to the waiting room for the Dark Council to start at 8:30 p.m. tonight. My goodness, we have quite a bit to talk about and to discuss. And let me see. Yeah, they do. Yeah, John Ware Jr., I believe you. They do. So let's go around, let you guys shout out your channels, tell the people what you have coming up. So we'll start with Retro Nerd Girl.
Yeah, you can find me on my channel here on YouTube, Retro Nerd Girl. I do a lot of reviews of older movies. So, go over to the channel, look around, see if there's anything that piques your interest. And you can also find me on X as well, hanging out there and doing posting stuff.
Posting stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Always glad to have you here, my dear. And Bash, let the folks know where they can find you, what you've got coming up.
Well, the best place to find me is going to be at That Park Place with Lorena joining us occasionally right there, livening up the channel because, boy, oh boy, when Jonas and I get together, it can get a little stuffy. So we need a little bit of spice to the show, right? And she is just fantastic, wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on this show, that's for sure. To find me on other places, Theme Park Universe with the amazing Theme Park Wizard. We do a show twice a month right there, every 1st and the 15th, so definitely check that out, covering theme parks all across the nation. And we are launching a new channel on the That Park Place Network, That Park Place Podcasts Online, or I think it's T3PO, I think is what we're going with right there.
Yeah.
It's Jonas' whole little thing right there. That is completely fine. But we're going to be posting clips of our live streams, both from Pro and That Park Place on there, as well as some new entertainment offerings for you. We've got a lot in the works, folks, and we are going to go live with that channel. It's live right now. You can subscribe to it, and we would implore that you do, but we are going to be starting to upload content on there on April 15th right there, so that you can look out for that. Tomorrow, That Park Place goes live at 12 noon Eastern, talking about all things shareholders meeting and much, much more. So definitely subscribe to all of those platforms, please. And Lorena, thank you so much for having me on the Spice Lounge.
Well, thank you.
Oh, that's nice.
Not only do we love Bash's commentary, but he has got the best soundboard out there ever. So we appreciate that. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Silmarian. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks to all of you. Wow, I'm like over 7K. Yes, we're having a 7K celebration. It's going to be on April 3rd. And of course, all of my panelists are wholeheartedly invited to pop onto that channel. Of course, you'll see me on the Dark Council tonight. Saturday morning, I'm going to be over at Universal Orlando because I'm just going to be checking out Butterbeer, hanging out in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. So come and join me for that. And of course, Sunday, welcome to Florida. I got Bash on the show, Culture Casino on the show. We've been seeing some things at the Disney parks, and it's about time that we start talking about them. So do not Do not want to miss that. So, folks, thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the chatter. Thank you for all the observations, the questions. All you guys watching, we've been between 50 to like 70 viewers the entire stream. So thank you so much. And you guys who are watching this on the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And let us know in the comments how you like the show. So thanks for joining us. You all take care. You guys stay spicy, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.